liner lock blade is a type of folding knife that has a side spring lock that can be opened and closed with one hand. The lock is self-adjusting for wear and prevents the blade from closing on the user's hand. A liner lock works because a spring in the side of the handle, usually titanium, is in the path of the blade and keeps the blade open until the spring is pushed over to the side. The spring is also called a lock bar or a leaf spring. To release the lock, the user presses the lock bar back toward the handle side, at which time the blade is free to close. The liner lock design was improved by American custom knife maker Michael Walker in the 1980s, who added a stop pin and a detent ball to facilitate one-handed opening and closing of the knife. The liner lock design was improved by American custom knife maker Michael Walker in the 1980s, who added a stop pin and a detent ball to facilitate one-handed opening and closing of the knife. A cam lock knife blade is a type of folding knife that has a cam locking system that secures the blade in the open position. The cam locking system consists of a switch or a thumb wheel that interacts with a notch or a counter-rotating cam on the blade tang. To release the lock, the user presses or rotates the switch or the thumb wheel to create clearance for the blade to close. One example of a cam lock knife blade is the Camillus cam lock folding knife, which was patented in 1958 and features a switch on the front of the handle that locks the blade into a fixed position. Another example is the CRKT Van Hoyt snap lock folding knife, which has two thumb wheels on the sides of the handle that allow the blade to rotate 360 degrees with the clip removed, or 180 degrees in either direction with the clip in place. Cam lock knife blades offer some advantages such as ambidextrous operation, strong lockup, and unique design. A partial tang knife blade is one that does not extend all the way through the handle. Instead, it is only partially embedded in the handle, which makes it lighter than a full tang knife. Partial tang knives are not as strong or durable as full tang knives, because they have less metal support and leverage in the handle. They are more prone to break or loosen over time, especially if used for heavy-duty tasks. Partial tang knives are usually cheaper and easier to make than full tang knives, because they require less material and labor. They may also have a better balance and feel for some users, depending on the design and purpose of the knife. There are different types of partial tang knives, such as rat tail, tapered, or pushed tangs. Each type has its own advantages and disadvantages, depending on how the tang is shaped and attached to the handle. A Tonto blade configuration is a type of blade shape that has a sharp, angular tip and a straight or slightly curved edge. The Tonto blade originated in Japan, where it was used as a short sword or dagger by the samurai. There are two main versions of the Tonto blade, the traditional Japanese Tonto and the Americanized Tonto. The traditional Japanese Tonto has a continuous edge that curves near the tip to form a small belly that meets the secondary point, and then curves up again to meet the primary point. The backbone of the traditional Tonto is also slightly curved. The traditional Tonto is designed for slicing and stabbing. The Americanized Tonto has a more geometric shape, with two straight edges that meet at a sharp angle, usually 45 degrees or less. The backbone of the Americanized Tonto is also straight. The Americanized Tonto is designed for piercing and prying. A dagger blade configuration is a type of blade shape that has a very sharp point and usually two sharp edges, typically designed or capable of being used as a thrusting or stabbing weapon. A dagger blade has a short blade with a sharply tapered point, a central spine or fuller, and two cutting edges sharpen the full length of the blade, or nearly so. The dagger blade is symmetrical and has no belly or curve. The blade configuration has some advantages and disadvantages, depending on the intended use and preference of the user. Some of the advantages are, the dagger blade has a strong and penetrating tip that can pierce through armor, clothing, or flesh. The dagger blade has two cutting edges that can be used for slashing or slicing in both directions. The dagger blade has a simple and elegant appearance that reflects its historical and cultural significance. Spring-assisted folding knives are a type of knives that feature a spring mechanism that helps to open the blade quickly and easily. They are similar to automatic knives, but they require some manual input from the user to initiate the opening process, usually by pushing a thumb stud or a flipper. Spring-assisted folding knives are convenient, useful, and quick. They offer powerful, responsive action and one-handed opening like automatic knives, but they don't suffer from the same legal restrictions in many places. They are also safer than automatic knives, because they have less chance of accidental opening in the pocket or the hand. Spring-assisted folding knives come in various sizes, shapes, designs, and materials. You can find spring-assisted folding knives for different purposes, such as tactical, survival, hunting, camping, or everyday carry. Knife carry positions are the different ways of wearing or storing a knife on your body or in your gear. They depend on the type, size, and purpose of the knife, as well as your personal preference and comfort. Knife carry positions can be categorized into a few options: around or near the waist. This is the most common and convenient way of carrying a knife, especially a folding knife. You can attach the knife to your belt, waistband, or pocket using a sheath, clip, or static line. You can also choose between different orientations, such as horizontal, vertical, tip up, or tip down. Some examples of waist carry positions are drop leg dangle, outside waistband OWB, inside waistband IWB, appendix carry, and small of back SOB carry. I personally prefer appendix carry and small of the back. The same holds true for me with regard to handgun carry. Not only is there ease of access, but weapon retention is enhanced. A fencer's grip is a type of knife grip that is used for holding a knife with the blade facing forward. In this grip, the thumb is placed opposite the second knuckle of the forefinger at the top of the knife handle. A fencer's grip is usually used for small to medium-sized knives that have a locking blade, such as pocket knives or folding knives. It allows for quick and easy opening and closing of the knife, as well as precise and controlled cuts. It also mimics the grip of a fencing sword, hence the name. However, a fencer's grip also has some disadvantages. It does not provide a very secure or comfortable hold on the knife handle, especially if the handle is thin or slippery. It also limits the power and range of motion of the knife, making it less effective for slashing or chopping. It may also cause fatigue or strain on the thumb and forefinger over time. An ice pick grip is a type of knife grip that is used for holding a knife with the blade facing backward. In this grip, the knife is held 90 degrees to the forearm, with the tip pointing down and the edge facing away from the user. An ice pick grip is usually used for reverse grip stabbing or slashing attacks, especially in close quarters or grappling situations. It allows for powerful and penetrating thrusts, as well as quick and unpredictable slashes in different directions. It also mimics the grip of an ice pick, hence the name. The Reaper grip is identical with the exception that the blade is towards the user. It allows for the user to rip after thrusting that is more difficult than the ice pick grips proper. It is the preferred method in the U.S. prison system. Serrated edge. Partially serrated. Not serrated. Now we are really splitting hairs. Suffice to say serrated edges catch on clothing. Enough said.